and demonstrated that good people all over the world want to pay back their loans. And he set something in motion over the last 20 some odd years, way before he got the Nobel Prize. But what's very interesting is that he has been allowed, quote, allowed to flourish in developing nations. But that credit paradigm has never really made its way to the United States economic system. I would say to you that our credit system is a disaster that puts people into servitude, endless servitude. It literally should be eliminated and a different type of credit system established, and not by people who want to keep the public down. And I really think that that credit system is one of the most devilish instruments to defile the populace and to defile people's ability to generate in this country.
Kim, you are talking exactly from my mouth. You are telling everything what I wanted to say. You said it the best way. We, as a nation, we should not exploit our people. For God's sake, we are American. Everything what we are doing at present time is un-American. We are hurting our own people more than we. It's inhuman what we are doing to them.
Exactly.
We throw them out of their homes. We embarrass the father in front of his wife and the children, and we destroy people morally, mentally, physically, financially, everything. Then we put them on the street. Next thing is we create more criminal problem there. And then those people who think now we foreclose these houses, they destroy these houses, these properties, because how they can collect money from somebody who has been foreclosed, who has no job and cannot get job because they check into his credit and his credit scores has reduced 300 points and he has to have 700, but he cannot have more. Does not have more than 400. He will never get a job. He will never get a car to drive to a job. And then how can a bank collect any money from them?
The entire seed of the credit system in the United States is a devil. It's a devil. It's a devilish, inhumane system that has to be wiped out. And the only way to wipe it out is to establish a parallel economy and literally to create a new credit system that has nothing to do with that other thing, not even to be against it, to literally set up a parallel path where you establish a new credit system and you get investors all over the world to start being part of and fueling and funding that new expression of an organism that has its way to potentiate commerce, to potentiate community, to potentiate R&D, to potentiate solutions, instead of to defile and literally put the public into servitude. That's what has to happen. We're not going to be able to stop that other thing that's devilish, but we can set up a parallel, separate, completely different consciousness credit issuing system. And you're now going to do something similar to that in banking in Florida. Talk about it.
Yes. Let me add something before I get into
Please.
that. You said it exactly the way I wanted to say. I would like to add also, as you know, I came from Iran. I ran away from there because there is a tyranny of religion. They say you have to be Muslim, otherwise, they exploit you, they abuse you, they do every kind of thing. Unfortunately, there they do in name of religion. In the United States, they do in name of credit. And this must stop because we are America and we are American. And we have to and we can do much better than we are doing at present time. There is no need. And if the idea is to be rich, we cannot be rich the way we just described. Because if you throw people out of their house, give them no jobs, how can you, and take all these houses? And if you cannot sell to somebody, what are you going to do with those houses? You destroy those capital and everything else. And as a result of it, eventually, the banks, they go out of business as they would have gone if the Obama administration would not have kicked in $1 trillion into their system. Now, what I think we should be doing is we should set a bank of the state of Florida, and every other state they should do the same thing. We should provide people, give credit, 2% 15 years on mortgage, 2% energy loan, 3% car loans, 3% business loan, 6% on CDs, and 6% on their credit card. And by using the fractional reserve banking regulation, we could make on every $100, using this program, we could make on every $100, $14 profit. And this money should go back to the Florida's economy to serve people. And the banks will be making millions and billions of dollars, but the profit should stay here. Now, if I was governor, and I hope one day to be, I would go and buy all these foreclosed homes for the wholesale price, because that would the best thing could happen to the commercial banking system and anybody else who holds the mortgage, that we could buy it for wholesale price and then turn around and sell to the previous owner or the people whose home has been foreclosed for the same amount plus a little bit, the cost we had. Let's say we bought a house was $100,000 and we bought it for $50,000. We may sell it for $55 or $52 or $53, depending how much cost was involved, without making any profit. And then give them 2%, 15 years, put them back into their homes, and say, you are good people, you are American, and please go and live with your wife and children, and be a good citizen, and let's me find you some jobs that you work. And then we create the solar concept, and we put these people directly or indirectly to work in it. And we must not only give people their house, their insurance, their everything else, we should also give them dignity. People without dignity, they cannot go to the next level of their capability. And at present time, they have to worry every month how they make this payment and that payment, and they suffer, they will throw me out of the house. This is not right. This is inhuman. We treat our dogs and cats better than that.
Some people may say or express a fear about a state going into the banking business or creating a bank. Why do you think that they're concerned? What is the concern about?
It is unnecessary because they are not going to last. If the economy continue like this, you tell me one bank could exist. Every day I read a bank here, 10 banks there, they are going out of business. Look at it. If the Obama administration would not have bailed out the banks, they would have been history by now. They cannot last on fees. If people do not have jobs, they have no incomes, they cannot make payment, and eventually they cannot pay also the fees they are asking. And at the end, the bank will collapse, the banking system. So we have to do that and create this Bank of the State of Florida or other states and implement this concept I told you about the interest rate and so on. And they have to operate and make profit, ethical profit, not maximize. They should not have the drive to maximize the profit, because maximizing profit is devilish also. We have to have every company, every bank must make profit, but they have to make ethical profit. For instance, to give you an example, if you use your credit card and you do not pay, let's say, when you have to pay, now they charge you, the cost of money is interest. They charge you not only finance charges, but they also charge you late fees. And then they charge you overdraft fees. Now, you tell me, why that? Because they want to put you in a position, they want to educate you to pay on time. If you have no money, how can you pay that on time?
Well, the other interesting thing about the credit card companies is actually there is no instrument of money that they're actually giving to you. And there is no transaction. There is no money. They are issuing credit on the books. That's what they're doing. But there's actually no change of money hands. So this is all about an accounting procedure, and most of the costs that they pass down to the consumer really should be outlawed. But it won't.
Yeah, but the solution is that the state banks could do it, and I